Hey everyone, welcome back. My name is Zane and today we're having a look at Polygon. So what is Polygon? That's the first thing we're going through. After that, we'll take a look at some of the things that's happened in the Polygon ecosystem, some of the updates, what's going on, anything important that they've published on their blogs. After that, we'll go through a price analysis and price prediction. Right now, Polygon currently sits at $1.87. Which is really fascinating because it's been doing really well lately. Since around the 15th of this month, October, it's been doing exceptional. And what happened was quite simple. It easily went from a price of $1.25 to a price of $1.58. That was really impressive. And it actually got really close to $2.20 during this month. That's really crazy. Something to understand is that obviously it's been higher. It's been at $2.43 before, but it's quite interesting how the patterns do occur because it's also fallen back down to around 68 cents, 67, 65 cents. So what we'll focus on is a price analysis throughout the last 3 months, which is really some important points that we have to go through. And then I'll give you a price prediction for the next 2 months going towards 2022. Polygon is an interoperable layer 2 scaling solution for building Ethereum-compatible blockchains. The blockchain uses Matic tokens for governance, staking, and gas fees via proof-of-stake consensus mechanism. Now, it was actually created in 2017. Polygon was co-founded by a team of blockchain developers, namely Jean T. Canini. Together, all three launched a project, which would be later renamed as Matic, to Polygon. Now, it being a layer 2 scaling solution, Polygon uses proof-of-stake system of validators to assess security, and staking is an integral part of the ecosystem. Validators on the network stake their Matic token as capital collateral in order to become part of the proof-of-stake consensus mechanism. And of course, validators receive the Matic tokens. Now, the vision of Polygon is to ensure they envision an open, borderless world, a world in which people and machines collaborate and exchange values globally and freely, without gatekeepers or intermediaries, a world in which community thrives, unconstrained by artificial borders and archaic regulations. Now, the first bit of news I'd like to go into is Alchemy. Data shows explosive growth of Polygon developer ecosystem. Now, it simply says, we've covered the pace of the growth of Polygon ecosystem with blogs such as OpenSea and our Polygon users. Now, we have covered the pace of growth of the Polygon ecosystem with blogs such as OpenSea and our Polygon users in numbers. Today, we will look at the overall growth of the Polygon developer ecosystem. Alchemy, a leading blockchain developer platform, is able to take a bird's eye view on teams building on numbers of blockchains, including Polygon. Its data provides us with insights into the level of adoption on Polygon versus other chains. The data for the past month reveal that Polygon is on a growth trajectory. Polygon may have humble beginnings, but is now a token, the crown as the most popular scaling solution with the Ethereum ecosystem. Polygon experienced exponential growth in 2021, and the number of teams using Polygon doubled every 2 months recently, according to Alchemy. At the same time, the decentralized finance and non-fungible token ecosystem have soared, increasing demands for Ethereum scaling apps, while DeFi and NFT gas usage have also risen. Ethereum gas fees have actually dropped partly due to the project adopting Polygon as a scaling solution. Well, for one, it's good to know that Ethereum gas fees are dropping, but on the other hand, they haven't stated how much Ethereum gas fees have fallen. And the interesting thing with Ethereum gas fees is that it's always rising and falling. So it's all over the place, really. The more demand they are, is the more the gas fees will go up. Now, so far, about 3,000 dApps have been built on Polygon as of October. That compares within 30 dApps of the same time last year. These metrics indicate that Polygon is increasingly utilizing and scaling solution within the Ethereum ecosystem. dApps have already been integrated. dApps that have already integrated Polygon including Sushi. So of projects that have integrated Polygon, 62% of such projects only run on top of Polygon, compared with 38% built on both Ethereum and Polygon. The pace of the team growth on Polygon is 2 times higher than the Ethereum at a comparable time in history, a sign that teams are increasingly relying on Polygon. So this is good to know, obviously, because based on the analysis, it looks like, based on the charts are showing that teams are using Polygon are doubling every 2 months. That's amazing. And in some of my earlier videos, I've actually spoken about Hermes Network that is joining Polygon and becoming Polygon Hermes via the first full-blown merger of 2 blockchain networks. Now, I recommend that if you're keeping up with Polygon, I recommend that you do check out this article. It's on the Polygon blog. This does explain things very nicely. Polygon usage remains near all-time high. Daily active addresses are up 116% in the last 28 days. And for context, Polygon Proof of Stake now has 83% of the active addresses relative to Ethereum, and recently, Polygon has steadily maintained higher activity. Below is a chart showcasing addresses that have sent the transaction, and below is a chart showcasing addresses that sent a transaction on either addresses. And of course, this is that chart. So there's plenty of information to go through, but I think we hit on to the most important ones. But there's still other information that you could check out for yourself. Polygon presents Built It, India's largest Web3 hackathon. Now, Polygon is the biggest crypto project to be born out of India, and today one of the most adopted blockchains in the world. The project is very popular with developers and users alike, with 1,200 plus dApps deployed and the highest daily active users count in the Web3 verse. This is huge, and obviously this is leading the way for crypto projects in India, and I can promise you there'll be a lot more innovation and a lot more crypto projects to come out of India. It's going to be absolutely amazing to watch. To further promote Web3 technology and culture among budding Indian developers, we're delighted to announce that Polygon Built It 2K21, India's first Polygon native hackathon, organized in collaboration with DevFolio, India's largest and fastest growing communities of builders, with prize worth more than $100,000 on the line. This is huge, obviously. Exclusively built for the Indian ecosystem, Built It is the perfect platform for Indian developers, entrepreneurs, artists, and students alike to begin their blockchain and Web3 journey and showcase their innovative ideas and projects on a grand scale. So it's just some more good news coming out of Polygon, which is really great. But I think now is the perfect time that we go into our price analysis and price prediction. So let's go right into our price analysis and price prediction for Polygon. At the moment, it currently sits at $1.85. But quite recently, it was actually at $2.26. So that's quite impressive. Now, this was actually the 29th of October, only a couple days ago. This is not too long ago. So what we are noticing is that in the past few months, 3 months or so, this is the first time that Polygon has been in the new price discovery territory. Now, what this leads me to believe is that this new price discovery territory leads me to believe that this isn't over. We're getting closer to Christmas, which means that there'll be a huge dip in the market across all cryptocurrencies because Christmas is a busy time for people and their family. So naturally, less volume for all cryptos across the board. But because we're nearing into November, it's time to think more constructively. What can Polygon actually do in November? Now, these are early times in November. So the good thing is that up until November, it's had a steady growth. Steady but extremely strong. And I've actually added that to my note that the growth is strong, and you can obviously see that there's plenty of volume. And if you ever need to check if a cryptocurrency currently has volume, all it takes is to look at where it was, and where Polygon was around 63 cents. This is around the 20th of July. That was extremely low. So if you compare the two, you have to compare these. You have to compare the low points. You got to have comparisons in price analysis. And when you can assess that actually comparing these, there's clearly a big difference in the market. Even if you just compare July in its incomplete, on average it was probably around 90 cents to $1 on average, but its lowest point it was at 68 cents. Some points is around 63 cents or 62 cents. So given that where it is right now, of course there's plenty of volume. That's a good lead up to November. And honestly, if we can keep this momentum, keeping this momentum is crucial to the start of the year. Because the financial market, the crypto market including, it usually does best after around February, March, April. Those times, the financial market usually does really well because people are investing as much as possible because it's a new year. Can we see a continuation of this price activity in November and December? Obviously, there will be a Christmas dip because there will be pullbacks in the market, less money going in. But still, can we keep some of this volume? Can we keep the momentum up until February next year? And that is a big ask. That's a huge ask because that's 3 months away. But if it did keep this momentum, you're looking at Polygon being around $4, $5. And I'm talking about next year, February, March, April, May, those times. That's if it can keep this momentum. But the likelihood is that it probably won't. For any crypto to keep this crazy momentum, this huge swing in price, then what you have to do is to go back to around May this year. Like I said, the crypto market usually does well around February, March, April, May, those times. And in around May, it was doing absolutely amazing. So that is a huge question. Can we keep this momentum? Now, on the other hand, we've got a market lead, and that seems to be strong. How do you know there's a huge market lead in the market? Well, you look at the crypto for a few months continuously, and you try to assess if there's been more positive movements or negative movements. Now, in the case of Polygon, there's been just continuous positive movements. This is in the past few months. The only time there was a huge unexpected dip in the market, but I don't think it was a big deal. This was actually really important because the price dropped to around $1 flat. But it didn't go below $1. That's what was really incredible. It did not dip below $1. Really impressive, and that's not easy to do. And since around the start of October, it's just been in a continuation of price rally. And that's exactly what we need. We like to see corrections in the market. We like to see new price discovery areas, which is where it is right now. And when I say new price discovery area, I don't mean in the entire history of Polygon. We're just talking about the last few months. This is what we're basing everything off. We do look back in past events, but we usually do that to assess the future. You look at the overall market lead, and this is what you call a market lead. A continuation of growth is a market lead. Now, on the other hand, I'm also looking for market trigger points. These will help to reduce volatility. But in reducing volatility, this can also end in a downtrend of price action. And that's not what we're looking for. That's why I'm keeping an eye out for market trigger points. These are really important. And I haven't seen many in the case of Polygon. Perhaps you can say in and around July to around August, there was kind of a narrowish growth. But this can also be understood as a steady growth. This is also a steady growth. A narrow growth is a bit more narrow. It's a bit more unpredictable. It's a bit more under the radar, to be honest. And obviously, market corrections. Some of these things are narrow growth, market corrections. Some of these things can see as a bad thing in case of a pullback. Usually leading up to a narrow growth can be a positive thing because it means that the price is going to skyrocket, which is exactly what we saw around July. But I've placed that in the negative in this case for Polygon because I haven't seen many narrow growths. So in the case of when we do see a narrow growth in the case of Polygon, that basically will tell us that the market is actually slowing down in this case. That yes, there's less volatility, but it means that it's slowing down, which means that it's more vulnerable to a flash crash because the volume have slowed down to the point where it's a narrow growth after it's done so well, after the price is extremely high. It's basically beginning to stabilize. That's actually vulnerability. In this case, when the price is actually really high. When the price is low, a narrow growth is actually a good thing. But when the price is high, that can be both. That can be a good or a bad thing. It's really unpredictable. Now, on the other hand, we've got upside continuation evidence for this. And overall across the board, I've got natural trajectory patterns. That's what I'm looking for. I could point these out all across the board. There's natural growth trajectories. To the 5th of September, that was natural growth, and it was amazing to see. And once again, it actually happened once again when the price fell in 27th of September. Once again, we saw some more natural trajectory pattern growth. Something that you'll notice is that there are patterns occurring right here. There's pattern 1 and there's pattern 2. You might not see this, but take a closer look and you'll realize that everything that I've shown you so far has the same pattern occurring once again. Obviously, this price correction, it occurred September, around the 8th of September, 7th of September. The price started dipping, and then the price started rising once again in around the end of September. That was a huge pullback in the market, a huge price correction. But what we saw after that was complete strength. And that's exactly what we want to see, is that even when the price is falling close to less than $1, it can still recover, and it recover beautifully. That's exactly what we want. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to see more. And of course, let me know if there's anything that I missed, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Remember to share this video on Twitter. Feel free to share it on Facebook. And we are actually on Twitter as well, so you can follow us on Twitter.